Hello everyone, I'm going to do a quick video on Handgun Skill or Handedness, whatever you want to call it. Before I start anything, I'm just going to quickly say and put it out there that left-handed is objectively the best if you have one handgun, and that ambidextrous is objectively the best if you have two handguns, and that you should only use right-handed if you really know what you're doing. And in that case, you don't need to be watching this video. So if you're watching this video, don't use right-handed, okay? Take my word for this. And in this video I'm going to be talking about why, basically, and the differences between them that you may or may not know. Okay, handgun skill only applies for handguns. It does not apply for any two-handed weapon or melee weapon. So out of this starting roster, for instance, it does not apply to the bow, does not apply to the hatchet. It does apply to the sawed-off shotgun. It applies to the Walker, Peacemaker, anything that can be held in one hand and like swapped over like this, right? That means it counts as a handgun. That means it's affected by this thing here. What the handgun skill actually does is it changes your accuracy in the various modes of holding your gun. So for instance, left-handed, if you hold it in your left hand, this is the Colt Navy for example, I have 82% accuracy, but if I hold it offhand, I have 63. If I use fanning, I got 58, offhand fanning 49, which is really bad. So for example, I'm going to compare this 82% to that 49. So this is 82. And then this is 49. It's not exactly a fair comparison because I have the kick from the fanning, but you get the idea. Basically what you want to do is play to your handgun skill strengths and use it so that you're getting the best accuracy out of whatever. Alright, now let's talk about the differences between them. So left-handed is going to give you the best accuracy with just one gun, assuming you hold it in your left hand. So here I have 82%, offhand is worse. But if I were to go to right-handed, you can see I only have 78 in my dominant hand and 67 in my sub hand. Then if I go to ambidextrous, it's only 70 here, but if I'm dual wielding, it's exactly the same. There is no offhand with ambidextrous, so no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to have 70% as my default max accuracy. The same penalty applies with dual wielding with the right-handed and left-handed. So you can see here, right-handed got 68, 67. Not that much different actually, so bear that in mind. You're not going to notice much difference with just 2 or 3%. And then if I'm playing left-handed, 67, 61. So it's a fair bit worse on the right hand, but the left hand is still actually quite good if you're dual wielding like this. Not nearly as good as having 82%, but bear in mind that the dual wielding with left-handed is actually not that much worse than the dual wielding with ambidextrous. It can change in like a dire situation, and the situation that it changes in is when an enemy is at a distance away from you, that their hitbox is going to be guaranteed to be hit by your shot if you're using ambidextrous or right-handed. Like for example, if you're dual wielding, you're going to guarantee your hit if you do have that extra range with your dual wielding or your offhand or whatever that you wouldn't have had if you're playing like this with left-handed. So this 61% accurate shot, the 61% accuracy, there's a distance where that is not going to be guaranteed to hit. However, for most of the guns in the game, it's actually going to be outside of the range that you're expecting to use it anyway. And in general, left-handed is just the best one. Okay, so you might be wondering, if left-handed is objectively best for the single-handed and ambidextrous is objectively best for the dual wielding, then what the heck is the point of right-handed? And the idea is it's supposed to be a middle ground of sorts where you have the best of both worlds, right? So at the moment I've got 78% accuracy, which is substantially better than I would have had if I was playing with ambidextrous. But if I do this, then it's not that much of a penalty. I can still fire at a fairly long distance with the ambidextrous. If you're playing in close range with your ambidextrous only, then there's no downside to just taking the left-handed, because then when you do play at long distance and you just use one gun, you're just going to get better accuracy out of your left hand. The other thing the left hand has as a bonus is that the fanning gives you a 10% bonus on top of the other two, which I believe are the same, but they might not be. I'll check that in a second. So this is 58% accuracy, fanning with my dominant hand. Let's check that out with right-handed. 53%, so that's 5% worse. And ambidextrous is also 53%. So the left-handed gives you a 10% bonus. If you want to be really pedantic about it and not just choose left-handed because it's generally the best one, then the idea of you picking one of the other ones is going to be, how many guns do I expect to use in this life? So for example, if I always play with the dual derringers, that's just all I do, then I'm going to want to put the ambidextrous, yeah, because that way, you know, since it's fairly bad with the accuracy already, you kind of want everything you can get with out of this accuracy. And most of the time you're going to be playing with 2 anyway, so ambidextrous is going to be a better choice than left-handed here. Also, it's free. Do bear that in mind. Ambidextrous is free, but these ones cost more. But then, for instance, if I'm playing with, I don't know, Volcanic and the Brass Knuckles, and I'm expecting to get some other weapons later by punching people and disarming them, taking their stuff, but at the same time I'm expecting that I'm probably going to be spending a lot of my life, or all of my life, even maybe just using one weapon, then right-handed is possibly a good idea. So if you're starting out with one weapon and you think you might want another one later, then you can pick right-handed as your option. That being said, the chances of you actually finding yourself in a situation at any point in your life where right-handed was a better choice than left-handed or ambidextrous is extremely low. Extremely low. Because the fanning is worse, the single-handed firing is worse, and the ambidextrous firing is worse. So the only situation where right-handed actually becomes a better idea is if you find yourself in a situation, one, where you are single-wielding, firing at someone where you would have had missed the shot if you were using ambidextrous, and also if you are dual-wielding and you fire at someone and you land a shot that you would have missed if you were playing left-handed. That's going to save you that's going to save you 2 shots of ammo. If it saves your life, then man, you're lucky, because it is so unlikely that this is going to happen. So that's my reasoning for saying that right-handed is an incredibly niche pick that you're basically never going to want. Also, it's more expensive than ambidextrous, despite being obviously substantially worse. So my basic point of advice for you is take left-handed unless you're going to be playing with 2 guns all the time, and don't take right-handed because it's a piece of shit and it's really bad. That's all that I have to say about accuracy, I believe. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you later.